North 40, and today I have a guest speaker with me. It is my husband. He is going to tell you about how to make homemade fire starters. You can use these in your fireplace or even when you're out camping. So I'll let him take over. I tried to explain this in my own video and I was horrible at it. I kept messing up. I am not the subject matter expert. So he's really good at talking through instructions, so I'm going to let him take over this video today. All right.
Don't forget Murph.
And Murph.
Our buddy.
Murph, come here.
Today we're going to be talking about why these fire starters. One of the things that's cool about these is they're very inexpensive and they reuse everyday items that you normally throw away. You've all seen at the store, Cabela's and Walmart stuff, they sell these fire starters. They're basically just compressed sawdust with wax is what they are. Today we're going to be using what I learned in Boy Scouts a long time ago, even prior to my Army days and doing some survival training. You just take egg crates that you normally would throw away, which is recycled paper. It's very fibrous, so it burns very well. And lint from your dryer, you can just start collecting that over time instead of throwing it away. Put it in a Ziploc, keep it in your laundry room. And they use Gulf wax, and you just melt that paraffin Gulf wax, which is highly flammable. It's multifaceted, multi-purpose. I used to wax my skis with it when I was a kid and skied a lot. But you're gonna melt that wax and put it into the actual container. This is what Gulf wax looks like. A lot of you may use it for canning. And here's a bunch of our collected lint. Honestly, it only takes us about a month-ish to get that much lint with our dogs, 2 Chesapeake Bay Retrievers, and you got your egg carton like I mentioned. So one little section is gonna be a single fire starter. These will stick up if this is seated in the ash a little bit, and you just go ahead and light those and they burn down and they take off really well. I used to have to crumple up with a bunch of newspaper and stuff, shove it under there. No need for newspaper. With one of these, it will light your wood. Okay, so let's get some basics of fire craft, if you will. There's a thing called the fire triangle. To have a fire, you have to have 3 things. You have to have oxygen, and you have to have the right ratio of each of these. You have to have heat and you have to have fuel. We've all experienced if you have too much wind blowing or whatever, you can't get the fire to light or it blows out. If your fuel is too big or wet, it won't light. So the heat concept is applying the right amount of that thermal heat to get that fuel to light. How you're going to actually make these, Brittany will show you in the demonstration. Obviously putting the lint into the egg crate or the egg container is fairly straightforward. I like to stick it in here and pack it down, get quite a bit of a wad of it in there. Maybe you have to add more and pack it down with your thumb because you're going to come back behind with the melted wax and pour it into that individual divider. Okay, keep in mind that this Gulf wax, I showed you earlier, is highly flammable. You do not want to try to melt this in a pot by itself or in a shallow pan. If you're using especially like a cooktop maybe, would be okay, but when you're using open flame, like we have a propane cooktop, some of you may have natural gas, those flames can jump over and catch this wax on fire. It is highly flammable, it's dangerous. So what we do is we use a double boiler concept. We take a big cast iron pot or whatever, fill it with water to a certain point. We put a Pyrex container in there that's glass. You don't want to obviously use plastic, it'll melt. Put that glass container in there. Why do I use a Pyrex measuring deal? Because it has a handle, it's easy to retrieve, 1. 2, it also has a spout and it pours that molten melted wax easily into your individual sections. All right guys, let's go ahead and make some.
The first thing you need to do is cut off the top of your egg carton. Then you're going to cut up your Gulf wax next. In order to help your Gulf wax melt quicker, you're going to take it out of the box and cut it up into smaller chunks. Once you have your wax chunks all cut up, then bring it over to your water before it starts to boil and place your glass container in the water. And then this will melt down and you don't want to pull it out until it's all liquefied.
Next, you need to prepare your egg carton, and you just put lint into each individual egg holder, and I just placed the lint all the way to the top of the hole. Then with an oven mitt, grab your glass container out of the boiling water, and then you're just going to pour a little bit of the liquid wax into each of the egg slots. I poured too much into this carton. I was nervous I wasn't going to have enough since I only made 1 cube, but this actually probably could have filled up 1 to 1.5 egg cartons. Once the wax is hardened and set up, then you can cut each individual fire starter out.
For demonstration purposes, I'm going to light it right here, because if I put it where I normally do, which is back under here, you won't be able to see it. I'm just going to show you how this thing really lights up fairly quickly, and I'm going to even light it high, and you'll see it'll burn down on that egg crate or egg carton. And once it catches that wax and that lint, you're going to see it. I'm going to wait for you to see it kind of really take off, and then I'm going to push this in a little further so it's centered under the firewood. While that's getting going, let me clarify and explain tinder, kindling, and fuel. Tinder is very small, like the lint we're using in these fire starters. Could be small wood shavings, a cotton ball. Kindling is going to be small sticks, a little bit bigger, that tinder will light. And fuel is like your actual log. We're not talking about gasoline fuel, we're talking about fuel for your fire. So, it might be your split firewood, a little bit bigger stuff. So typically you need all 3 of those to get a good fire going. Our fire starter, though, combines and replaces tinder and kindling. Now that it's going pretty good, just to let you know, one of the things that you want to observe here is that we didn't need newspaper and or kindling by itself or tinder by itself. Our fire starter lit that wood really well, just split firewood. As you can see here, our doors are now semi-closed. They're not all the way closed, they're kind of pinched. And what that's doing, it's causing a carburetor-like effect that's increasing that airflow, the velocity of the air into the firebox, really getting that fire lit well and burning hot.
So the fire's been going for a while. We shut the doors and closed the flue. So there's the fire starter. All in all, it took about probably 7 minutes to really get going until we close the doors. Thank you so much for watching. We really needed this fire today. It's only about 20 degrees outside, and so now we have a cozy North 40 fire. Comment down below if you would like to see more homestead activities, preparedness, or survival techniques. I appreciate you watching my video. Please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.